Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us where you typically invest and what your investment strategy is?
My name's Charlie. I'm based out of Arizona here and primarily in the Phoenix metro area, which is a nice big area. But I've done a few flips throughout the state.
My name is Bryce Fleming. I used to be a technician, but now I work full-time as a real estate professional, specifically doing burrs here in Texas.
All right, well, my name is Jason. I'm based in Florida, and I've been working in IT for a bit now, and I just recently got into real estate investing, but most of my properties are actually in the Midwest, so long-term cash flow rental properties.
And how many were you doing before you were working with Malohn Capital Group?
Well, I was a little bit limited, maybe one, maybe two, on a good year.
I was just doing about one or two.
None. I was too worried about making a wrong move.
Was there anything else limiting you from doing more flips, or was it mostly the capital?
Yeah, cash. You can run out of cash pretty quick.
For me, and I guess like a lot of people, I was actually using my own capital, which was a problem because my cash was tied up in, renovations and down payments and other properties. I just didn't have enough money to scale at the rate that I needed.
Honestly, like fear, just making a wrong investment. I had the credit, had the income, and I understood the strategy for the most part, but I didn't want to use my own money.
What do you think made Malohn Capital Group different from maybe some other options you might have checked out?
Really easy to work with. You guys really know your stuff, and I got $320,000 in total funding across 2 rounds in a matter of a couple weeks.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit different with this process that I really appreciated. You guys didn't just offer me a line of credit or a loan. You mapped out the funding alongside my burst strategy from top to bottom, which was really helpful. Another thing that you showed me was how to use a 0% interest working capital as a tool for, between acquisitions, renovations, refinancing.
Yeah, I did. Of course, traditional banks, try local lenders. I tried some partnerships, but seemed like everything required too much cash up front, and the time frame, it was just taking way too long. Y'all didn't just talk about the loans. You showed me how to use the working capital for the down payments combined with the DSCR loans for the mortgages, and even sourcing legit off-market deals. So the whole experience just felt like a complete ecosystem on top of the financing.
When you first saw how much capital you qualified for, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I really couldn't believe it. 290,000 unsecured with no collateral. I was really surprised and pretty excited.
125,000 at 0% interest, funding I could actually use specifically for down payments without stretching myself too thin. And
kind of walk me through a little bit of what happened after you accessed that 320K.
Well, I used it to fund multiple projects at the same time. Down payments, renovation costs, holding costs, all about this stuff. And now I can take on 3 or 4 flips at the same time instead of doing one at a time.
Or how did you actually end up using that $290,000 towards your business?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much use it for anything I needed, from down payments, rehab costs, contractor draws, materials, even to secure more deals before my refinance came through on separate properties. So it's been a huge game changer to say the least.
So I use it to cover down payments and closing costs on 4 different properties. Matter of fact, all of them DSCR with y'all too. And it allowed me to just move quickly without having to wait another couple of years, to settle it all, save it all.
What's changed also in your business since you've had access to this capital?
Well, I've went from 1 to 2 flips a year and being on track for 6. 6 flips this year. I've already doubled what I did last year.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of the capital is to scale my business, which is something I couldn't do before. Now I'm able to run multiple bird projects at the same time instead of waiting 4 to 6 months between each one.
Buy 4 cash flowing rentals in a matter of months instead of maybe 1 or 2 properties every few years of saving up.
Charlie, how quickly did you deploy this capital when you received it?
Oh, let's see. I had 3 projects going on within 45 days of getting approved.
In your mind, what would have happened if, let's say, you weren't able to access that extra capital?
I had to think about it. I've heard, or I'm sure other people have heard, if a business isn't growing, it's dying. So if I wasn't able to get this capital to scale my business, I probably would have had to go back to being a technician.
I'll probably still be waiting, still be just researching and telling myself someday, when I got enough money saved or when I'm ready.
And if you had to kind of put a dollar amount on it, how much more profit would you say you're projected to bring in this year compared to last year without the funding?
Let's see. Last year I made close to six figures, and this year I'm close to tripling that number, or so more, a lot more.
So, Bryce, one big thing that a lot of people will be wondering or asking is how fast did you actually receive the funds?
Yeah, super fast. That was actually one thing that surprised me a lot. Only took about 11 days, which I really appreciated because I would have lost a lot of deals if it wasn't secured so fast.
It took about 8 days to get the capital, and within say 2 months, I had closed on all 4 of the properties.
Did this affect your personal credit or put any liens on your properties?
No, that was like something I was trying to be super intentional with, but I didn't want any liens. I was trying to not put up any collateral, and this no liens, no collateral, all unsecured.
No liens, no collateral. At the working capital.
In one sentence, what would you say Malohn Capital has done for your business?
I got one word for you: momentum. Momentum. It's created momentum. Like in a football game when they start scoring touchdowns, you guys have given me that momentum. You gave me the revolving capital I needed, to scale my flipping business without expensive hard money loans or relying on my own capital fluctuations. This funding gave me the opportunity to build momentum. And now I'm as busy as a bee.
Yeah, in one sentence, your firm gave me the opportunity to grow my vision to obtain my goals. Without the capital I was able to secure, I would have failed.
Malohn Capital Group, they gave me the exact financing and the deal flow system I needed, to become a real estate investor so I can start chipping away at my dream to scale my portfolio, build up passive income so I can take care of my wife and kids.
What would you tell from your experience, maybe another fix and flipper who's stuck doing one or a couple of deals per year right now?
So I tell them, take a little bit of a leap, that I've had phenomenal experience with you guys. So like I said, I hadn't really done this before, but you guys have treated me right. I'm not going anywhere. The entire process was simple, reassuring, of course, profitable. And I'd tell them it's time to level up, take a little chance. If not now, you're going to do it in a year, 2 years, 5 years. Do it now. Do it now. It's going to pay off.
Jason, who would you say this capital is perfect for?
Someone who has decent credit and they want to invest, but they're stuck because of, the analysis paralysis and just fear of taking the shot, But, like they say, like the best time to invest is yesterday and the second best time is today.